What a beautiful morning here in southern Utah at the Hidden Springs RV Resort. And I've got the incredible opportunity to meet a fantastic family. They are the Flying Circus Bus, and I'm thrilled to catch up with them. Hey, good morning. Good morning. How's it going? Good, good. How's the day going for you?
Amazing. Thanks for having us.
Oh, hey, it's so great to see you. And you know what? I got to show the bus.
Yes.
Right? What a work of art. Well, shall we head over to the clubhouse?
Go.
So we are going to head over to the clubhouse because, Morgan, you've got
Are in
kids.
school.
No distractions, right?
Of course not. They
And-
would never be distracted.
Just like any kid in school,
Yep. The teacher leaves. and they
100%
become
focus. Oh, the teacher leaves and they become chatterbox. I was thinking that the teacher leaves and the students become 100% focused.
Oh no, they're so
On each
very
other,
much
yeah.
kids.
Focus on distracting themselves.
That sounds great. Well, let's head over.
right.
Tell me a little bit about the origin of the Flying Circus. When did you guys decide and what made you decide to do the bus?
Go for it. This is your story. So we're from Montana, and when the pandemic hit, all of our kids went to distance learning. So it was an 8-hour model of schooling, but at home in front of a computer. And they were supposed to listen to their teachers sitting down for 8 hours a day. And it was a disaster because the middle one was in kindergarten and trying to learn to read and to write, and she's our most active outdoor kid. She couldn't sit. So my birthday in April, he comes out of the bathroom.
Where all men have great ideas.
All the best ideas are born
ideas.
in the bathroom. And he comes out and he goes, on my birthday, we should buy a school bus and go travel. And I thought he was nuts. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, this is actually a viable option to travel because we have 4 kids, 4 cats and a dog. And so getting on a plane or getting in a car, it's just a lot of logistics.
And we both already worked remotely.
Yep.
So it was not really much of a difference. We were just be doing somewhere else. It's not like COVID put us to work remotely.
Right.
So it was just the kids. And then once that changed, it was like, well, now that we're all remote, we might as well just go be remote somewhere else.
Yep.
Okay, so it wasn't just the setting that inspired this idea,
Oh,
right?
no,
The
no.
bathroom.
No, the bathroom was just, it hit the pain point enough. It was the solution to the pain point.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it was the push.
It was the timing, right? It's the
Let's do
timing
it.
of the pandemic, plus being able to do it, plus the craziness of let's just do it.
Right, right.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good. So, did you follow other people that had gone a similar path, or did this just come out of the blue?
We've always liked traveling, and we had a couple campers, just like a pop-up camper and a little old express van that was a camping van. So we liked that, and we wanted to do it, but we just did like everybody else, just weekend camping, and
Sure.
that's it. I've always wanted to build a teardrop trailer, and we had this idea of renovating Airstreams and doing those things. I followed people living this lifestyle, either on a van or on a sailboat.
Right.
And that has always been in the back of my mind as like, we should do that one day. We should.
Right.
We should go just travel and live everywhere and anywhere we want to experience that lifestyle. So it came sooner than we thought,
Yeah.
but absolutely worth it.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a seat and we'll continue this on. So, one of the eye-catching things is, of course, the bus. What made you decide on the direction to go with, because that's a old Bluebird school bus, right?
1996.
96. So that makes it 30 years old this year. So what made you decide to go that route versus, because you talked about an Airstream, maybe building a teardrop?
Yes.
Why the bus?
So the teardrop is when we had no kids.
That changed very quickly.
After the first kid, we tried tent camping once, and then we decided that we would get a camper, and then we got the van. The bus came when we already had 4 kids, and if you look in the market, there is literally nothing, at least in the affordable side, that you can fit 6 people comfortably. And if you want to do long-term traveling or full-time, that you would be able to do that. And the bus absolutely fits the bill because it's a very sturdy, heavy-duty envelope that is built for safety.
Right.
So, and you have a great foundation. So if you start with a strong foundation and you have an empty shell, literally the sky's the limit. You can build anything. And the bus was basically that foundation that we needed to build exactly what we needed for what our family needs and how our life functions.
Sure.
And I think it's exactly what he said. It was the sturdy structure, but it was, in order to fit 6 people and any kind of, I don't want to say small, but it's small in comparison to a house, an apartment.
Sure.
The amount of stuff we need, whether that's simple things like shoes or all those little things, they add up space-wise. And it was the only option that would allow us to customize, to be able to make use of every single inch and fit what we needed. Like you said, the affordability is a big deal when you start
Right.
trying to find something that is actually meant to sleep 8 or 6. But they didn't have the storage because it's just a blanket. Here's your RV. Here are the cabinets. Here are the drawers. And you try and make it work.
Right.
That is not functional for us.
There's a huge difference between heading out on a weekend trip and living.
Yes.
And I also assume that the Bluebird was a good choice because not only was it built for safety, it was built to withstand kids.
Exactly. And that was the other part is like, okay, we're putting a bunch of kids and animals in a small space. And us too as adults, like you bang a wall or, you know, something gets hit and a wall gets damaged or a baseboard needs replaced. It's wood. It's a whole lot easier to sand it down, repaint, or go to Home Depot and buy it versus, oh, we have a hole in the wall.
Right.
And now we need to sit and wait for some RV repair shop to fit us in. And now we're sitting there and we have nowhere we can stay really. So it was all the things.
Yeah.
It checked every single box.
Right. So what year did you start?
So we bought the bus in April 2020.
Okay.
And I bought the bus from New Mexico, so I flew to New Mexico. The gentleman picked me up at the airport with the bus, and then we went straight to a mechanic. He gave me an okay, changed the fluids. I got on the road, drove 1,100 miles back to Montana. So between Friday, her birthday, and Sunday, it was from an idea to now we have a bus. And
So now, oh crap, what are we doing
Yeah.
with this bus?
That quick.
Yeah,
It
so
was
I
that
got out of
quick.
the bathroom. I asked her. She said, well, yeah, why not? I messaged the guy, put a deposit, book a ticket for the next morning,
Yeah.
and then flew there, picked the bus, and then drove the next day and a half.
Oh my
So it
goodness.
was that quick.
And so did you already have in mind what you wanted the bus to look like at the end, or?
No, it was, we put tape down and kind of trying to figure out the floor plan.
Sure.
Did a couple times, and then by the 3rd time, it was just minor adjustments, and then we knew what the layout would look like. And then from there on, we started custom building everything. We had a few constraints, right? So the water tank is a constraint, you can't change it. Our fridge is a constraint, and pretty much mattresses.
Right.
Everything else you can change.
Right.
You can change a couch, you can change a sink, you can change everything else. So those are the hard constraints. And then we just built everything around those. And then by the end, we wanted to maximize the use of space. So everything that we could use for storage or for functionality was used.
Right.
Quick pause, friends. This adventure, it's brought to you by Curb and Turf, the free app that connects RVers with private landowners. You see, as Mrs. Claus and I travel the country, we need safe, welcoming places to camp. And Curb and Turf delivers private spots all across the U.S. So when you plan your next trip, you got to ask yourself, why not camp where Santa camps? Download the free Curb and Turf app today.
So let's back up a little bit. We've got COVID going on. You're doing the distance learning, and so the kids are already out of traditional school.
Right.
You had to have known that that was going to come to an end, the COVID situation. Did you learn something from the distance learning experience that kind of put a light in your head that said, hey, there's a different way of teaching our kids? And was that a motivation at all? Or give me some perspective on that thought of the schooling of your kids.
For me, no. Distance learning was a disaster for us. And so it was more of a, okay, distance learning in Montana, where you have a solid 7 to 9 months of really cold, or at least mucky
ground,
spring
Yeah.
type weather, wasn't going to work. And so if that was what the school district was doing there, we figured, okay, we might as well go somewhere warmer or be traveling, so that their lunch breaks or before school, after school, weekends, we could be outside more to kind of combat that you are literally sitting in front of a computer listening, almost like a lecture type class with my 5-year-old bouncing off the walls. So it was more of a survival.
For 8 hours.
Yeah.
That's the problem,
That's
right?
the thing, like,
the workload didn't change.
Right.
it just was in front of a
So
screen.
it's just in front of the screen. So trying to make a little kid sit in front of the screen for that long, and then when they're done, it's still cold or rainy or mucky outside, and there's not really much to do.
Right.
It gets really hard.
Right.
And much to do in terms of, like, if everything was shut down, you weren't going to meet up with friends, or you weren't going to the hot springs, or you weren't going to you weren't doing
You're
anything.
not doing anything.
So it was more of a survival, I think, at that point. There was I was against homeschooling. I didn't think it was possible with 4 kids with our age difference.
Right.
So it really was just a means to the end. Here's how we're going to get through this shutdown. And we figured at the end of it, like, we'll enjoy the travel, we'll do it. And then we would come back to Montana, kids would go back to school.
Sure.
And this is our summer vacations, right? We'll go travel on the summers, we'll travel on the weekends. It's already built out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't,
And to your
at that time, it was nothing to do with, oh, let's try something differently.
Yeah.
At that point.
And to your point, the time frame that we had in mind was, we know that this school year is going to be remote. It's going to be distance learning. So we knew from February to September, we had that amount of time before we had to go back.
Yeah.
Possibly not, but most likely
Sure.
go back to him.
And
in
because I
person.
think pretty soon after we hit the road, we got an email letting us know that the next year would be optional. Like
hybrid.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what it was. It would be hybrid. So you could come back to school, but they were like alternating days where some kids were going, I don't remember if it was all mornings versus after. No, I think it was like a Monday, Wednesday, alternating Friday, Tuesday, Thursday kind of thing. Or you could continue with the distance learning.
Right.
And so we kind of knew, like, okay, we're not going to mess with that. We're just going to go travel, do our thing, make the most of it. And
Okay, so the plan to go out, end the school year, summer vacation, get back to Montana for the new school year, that didn't happen.
It did.
It did.
So we left in February, did a 9-month lap, give or take, 9-month lap around the country. So we did pretty much the perimeter of the US besides the West Coast. And then we were back in Montana by the end of September.
Okay.
So that was the first trip. So we accomplished that one and then went back to Montana. And then during that time, that's when things changed for us, where we said, okay, this could be long term. So we went back and everything went back to normal. Kids went back to school.
Okay.
We parked the bus and life went
it
back.
started being used for weekends, for
Sure.
summer vacations, spring break.
Yeah.
but it felt
Something
different.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the pivot that actually made that
I think
change?
it was we both love the warmer weather.
Yeah.
I'm from Montana. The snow is beautiful. Christmas time, like it is very, very magical. Like the snow and the sledding and all the things. But it's with kids for us, it's so easy to throw on flip flops and tennis shoes, grab a backpack and go do anything, everything, or we're outside for longer amounts of time. With our kids and the ages they were, Montana is you're going to go outside for a bit, but the amount of time is different. And so then we were just inside a lot more. And so we realized we wanted warmer weather.
I'm originally from Brazil, from Rio, and I grew up right in front of the beach. So for the longest time, that was my reality. I do enjoy the cold. I did enjoy the cold for 16 years, almost 16 years.
Sure.
But I did miss the ocean or a big body of water or something to just go play, like that you don't have to get on a bike or you don't have to put on skis. You just go there and you get in the water,
Right.
and you just relax. And it was really fun to watch the kids living that kind of life that I used to live.
The bus is called the Flying Circus. Where did that come from?
That was him.
So
It's all him.
There's a combination of Monty Python
Of course.
and something funny that my mom used to say, that growing up, it's me, my brother, and my sister. And my mom used to say our family was so crazy that if you put a wall around, it's a mental institution. But if you put a roof over, it's a circus. So it depends on how you approach the problem.
Right.
You don't want to put a wall around it.
Right.
You just want to put a roof, a tent over, and then it becomes a circus because it's just the craziness.
Right.
And putting all of us and the animals in a small space. I'm not going to call it a mental institution. I'm just going to call it a circus. So the name kind of resonated with the Monty Python as an 80s kid, that it was just fun. And I'm like, oh, I like that. It's the barn, the barnstormers, the Flying Circus Bus, and
Right.
that's fun.
And you've got a fantastic social media presence, the Flying Circus Bus, right? Was that an intent to do that before you hit the road, or did that eventually evolve?
No, that was the intent to document and keep friends and family updated was
Sure.
always there.
Because his mom was in Brazil, and then my parents were in Montana, and so it was the easy way to keep them updated and show them where we are and let them be involved in what we were doing without me going, oh, okay, I need to send this photo to this grandma and this one to these grandparents. But simultaneously, it was how we were connecting with the few people that were already doing what we were trying to do, to ask questions, to get help, to get
It's
ideas.
a great community.
Yeah.
It's a great community. And I think at the end, it's almost like it's our way of feeling part of it and also helping to motivate or inspire other people who are thinking about it or dreaming about it and would see us and say, yes, it is possible. Because you can always come up with an excuse. Oh, I have too many kids. Oh, I have too many animals. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh, I can't afford a brand new RV. Here it is.
Right.
Here's a family who got an old bus, who transformed it, who's doing it, and who's living it. And people who inspired us, other accounts and other nomads or bus life folks that inspired us. It's our way to say, hey, we're part of this, and if we can inspire one more person, I think we kind of accomplished that mission.
The lifestyle is very unique, challenging, exhilarating, beautiful, and ugly.
Yep, and everything in between.
All of those things. And I love what you're doing because many people that do a similar broadcast in social media, they show all of the bliss. Nothing goes wrong, right? Your analogy of the walls or ceiling, mental institution or circus, I love that because nothing changes inside, right? It's your perspective of what happens. But yeah, what you're doing is real. Given that, tell me some of the wonderful experiences that you've had that you didn't anticipate and that came out of the blue. Is anything stand out?
Oh, there are several. We were able to watch a SpaceX launch in Boca Chica for the SN-11 prototype rocket.
And sleep underneath the
And
rocket
we
the
slept
night before.
under the rocket the night before.
Like the police were knocking on our door at
Because it's a
3 or
public
4
road
a.m.
where SpaceX is in Boca Chica, and you can camp right there on that road. So then the night that the day they're gonna have the launch, then they clear the road, of course, for debris and stuff. So everybody moves away. But we slept the night before right underneath the rocket and watched them, working on the rocket. We watched the launch. We watched the rocket go up.
That was cool.
That was a pretty special moment. We did go to NASA and Cape Canaveral and watch one of the crewed missions fly as well. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, just seeing whales in Mexico, paddleboarding with
Whale
sharks. Seeing hundreds of dolphins just floating around, visiting museums. We went to DC.
Drove through Times Square.
You took the bus through Times Square. So did you go across the GW, the bridge to Manhattan then?
Yes. You need to take the upper portion of the Jefferson Bridge, right? And I ended up not making the turn when I should have. So I ended up right in front of the tunnel, on the toll to the tunnel. And they said, well, you didn't take the turn, but I couldn't turn. So they stopped traffic on all those lanes.
I think it's 8 lanes or 12. It's a lot of lanes.
So they stopped the traffic on all the lanes. And then a cop came and escorted me and kind of made the turn, opened the cones, and then I turned the bus around and then went to it was all good. It was fine.
So everybody behind you was very pleasant and happy.
Yeah, we chose the right time to do it. It was nighttime on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like a 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Like we weren't going at rush hour.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. Too crazy.
Too crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, you.
So I am just picturing the contrast of a child sitting in front of a computer monitor for 8 hours, studying about Mount Rushmore or whale sharks versus actually experiencing.
Swimming with a whale shark or visiting Mount Rushmore.
Right. Or sleeping under a rocket.
That's the kind of experience we want them to have. It's, hey, we are here. We can do those things. We don't need to read from a book. We can go swim with a whale shark. We can go to Mount Rushmore. We can go watch a rocket launch, and those things are, I think, what differentiate something very meaningful, something very intense that they can carry. They'll pick and choose, or their memories will pick and choose what they retain, but just stimulating.
Yeah.
That I think it's really cool. And looking back, right? And when they are my age and they look back, I hope they see, wow.
Yeah.
That was some adventure.
So one of the big things for kids is friends, obviously, right? And in Montana, you've got a home, you've got your neighborhood, you've got your school. The social structure for your kids is what you would call normal. How has it been challenging yet gratifying, and the good and the bad on the social end for your kids for being on the road full time?
I think it's eye-opening. Initially, it was really hard for them to say goodbye.
Right.
They all had like either a group or a couple really, really close friends. And so that was harder. But it's interesting to watch how that's changed for them, not from our stance, but hearing them talk about it, where several of those friendships they've maintained. And so we make an effort to go back every single year, and they see those friends, or like, so we're in Utah right now at Hidden Springs, and so they've had friends, one of our daughters has had a friend come down here several times to see her. Others, they now talk about, like, I think we were friends more because of proximity, because this is the group I had to choose from,
but they've realized they didn't necessarily have a lot in common with these kids. You know,
Because you just go to the same school.
yeah, like
Yeah.
here's your group of 28 kids in a class. Pick who you want to hang out with. It doesn't necessarily mean you have a ton in common. You're just trying to find someone that makes you feel good. And so the social aspect is huge for all of them. So the first year, we kind of took a step back, and it was more of, we want to reestablish, we felt it was more important to reestablish the family bond and rely on each other versus, I want to go play with friends. Oh, I'm going here. Oh, I'm
Right.
going there. And everybody's just always doing their own thing. So we put more of an emphasis on, first and foremost, we're strengthening that bond. This last year, we've made more of an effort to, okay, the core is now great. Let's focus on the friendships. And so we've been meeting up with people on the road. And that's really interesting too, because they'll meet some kids and they instantly connect. Like, there's no social awkwardness. There's no, I'm just going to sit here and kind of watch you, and maybe a couple weeks from now we're going to say a hi. Or no, it's, I'm going to jump right in and we're going to play, and they don't waste any time.
Right.
And then they're either going, wow, this kid I'm really, really connecting with, or that person doesn't make me feel good about myself. That person makes me cry.
Right.
I mean, our daughter had a girl bite her, a 7-year-old bite her, and she goes, that didn't make me feel good about myself. I don't need to spend time with that.
Right.
So it's really interesting to see that self-awareness that they're developing on their own, because they're seeing so much. Like, it's not just this bubble of Bozeman, Montana. They're seeing kids from all over the world.
Yeah.
And different cultures and different beliefs and languages, and they're really figuring out what they like and what is an important quality for a friendship. And then along those lines, now we've kind of started establishing, we have several home bases. So Utah is going to be one of those bases. Hidden Springs, we love it. It is, if we get here and the kids are like, we're home, and they love it. And then same thing with Baja, Mexico. And so
Yeah.
now we kind of have like a fall and a spring and a winter base where they can really start to establish some of those core friendships where they get to spend enough time with these kids that it is fulfilling that bucket that they have and that need that they have. But then we also have the time or the summers to continue doing what we're doing and traveling. So I feel
Right.
like we're finding that balance now. Like, we needed to reset. They needed to figure out what was a friend to them, what they look for, and now they can really start to go after that.
Right. So one of the comments that Mrs. Claus often gets is, you live together in that van full time and you haven't killed him?
We get that a lot too.
Right?
Yeah.
How has the family dynamic changed? As far as siblings will either be constantly at each other's throat, or they'll know that, hey, I have to get along. Did you notice a difference from when you were living in a regular, what you would call normal home, to actually hitting the road and living full time in the bus?
Yeah, huge
100%.
difference. I would say it got a lot harder before it got easier.
Yeah.
And I think it's because in the house, in a traditional normal life, there are so many distractions.
Yeah.
As an adult, there's always work or projects or something needs fixed, or just you mow your lawn, you do your dishes. Oh, like, there's always something responsibility-wise. And it's too easy to spread out and to lose touch with either your kids. Kids go to the rooms, they shut the doors, they hole up, or they're constantly wanting to be busy and go out with friends. Whatever it is, like, you're doing this a lot. And so the bus, because you're in a close proximity, or like you guys in the van, it takes everything that in a normal life or in a home you've been able to kind of keep under the surface, it pushes it all up to the top at once.
Yeah.
And so I think it got really hard really quick, because all of a sudden everything that had been like kind of pushed down and forgotten or ignored, all of a sudden it all came to the surface. I'll be the first to say, like, we work with a psychologist constantly. Like, between us, with us individually, with our kids, like, because we wanted to work through all of that, and we wanted to make sure we were doing this in a healthy way and not, I mean, I think every parent's worst fear is, am I damaging my kids?
Right.
And so we wanted to make sure, like, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
don't know.
And there is an intention there that we've always had with our family and with our kids and with each other, that we want to make our relationships better.
Yeah.
So
Not just survive it, but like thrive in it.
So we actually are actively, constantly pursuing healing, knowing each other better, learning how to talk, learning how to respect, learning our own triggers, healing from our own things, so we can become better individuals and we can become better with each other. And I think in the beginning it's harder because we will tend to reject that because it's the way it's always been.
Right.
And you kind of go against the grain. But after
And
a
it's
while,
uncomfortable, right? Because
Exactly. Sure.
it's easier to kind of push it down than to
than to
actually
deal
keep
with it.
Yeah. So we all have had our moments, and still have some, of
Yeah.
course, that something triggers or something annoys or something, but you see that kind of melting and melting and melting,
Right.
to the point that you're like, we're working. Now we know that we're working together.
Right.
And it's adjustments versus a fight.
Right.
You know, like we're not fighting against each other's will or, you know, or expectations.
Right.
We're saying, okay, we're all working together, and there are just optimizations that we need to do here and there, but we're on the same path. We're aiming at the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to.
You have no choice. You
The-
are a team. You rely on each other. Like, we have an argument. There's no, like, I'm taking off to the bar or I'm going out with the girls to go shop. Like, there's none of that. And I
Right.
need him to move my bus. And he needs me to find everything that he doesn't know where it is. So, like, you need each other too much. And same with the kids. Like, yes, we are working on that social aspect and making sure that those buckets are filled for the kids. But day in and day out, the only kids they have are each other. And so they might get annoyed with something little, but man, they get over it quick, or they communicate through it, because that's who they can constantly rely on to be there for them.
And it's an environment that forces you
Yeah.
to face your differences or to face your discomfort or to, you know, so you roll with it.
Yeah.
You adapt and you move on and you figure it out.
I absolutely love how intentional you are in that, because, you mentioned you work with counselors. You actually gain the tools that are needed to deal appropriately so that your kids and your relationship remains healthy. And that's one of the sad parts about social media, is a projection of everything's perfect, and then somebody goes out and says, "Oh, I'm gonna buy a bus, and I'm going to build it out, and I'm going to hit the road," and everything is, sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, right? And then life happens, and they're ill-equipped to deal with it, and so their relationships actually end up worse than they were before. And you guys are setting a fantastic example to say, hey, we don't get along just because we get along. It's an intentional choice to work on our relationships and work on how we get along and overcome conflict and stuff like that. So I love that, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that so much. You mentioned in your social media, in our conversation, Flying Circus Bus, that it's to keep people abreast of what you're up to. Are there any intentionalities beyond just saying, hey, here's where we are and here's what we're doing, that you hope that your social media presence actually conveys?
I think that's how it started, was more of a keep, mainly family, but friends too, here's where we are, right? Because it was constantly, when are you coming home? That was the question. It was like, when are you coming? So it's like, instead of me answering that in a bunch of text messages, like, here's where we are. So it started as that. I think it's like you kind of touched on. Now it's more of a sharing what it is, our experience, because I feel like if we can make it work with 4 kids, 4 cats and a dog and a bus, there are a lot of people that go, I don't have the money to buy an RV, or I don't have the skill set to do X, or there's always something, a blocker, I guess. And so now it's more of a way to say, if we can do this, you can do this too. And hopefully inspire people. I mean, we've had some cool stories, people in domestic abuse situations, or like, and they've come up and said, we get messages like, you inspired me to leave, and I left and I bought a bus, and I now have a way out. I thought I was stuck, and now you showed me there's something I can do. Like, I don't have the money to go buy a house or an apartment, but I can do this. And so there are quite a few stories like that you hear, and it's really, really cool.
So in your process of building out the bus, I mean, even while you've been here at Hidden Springs, I have just marveled at your solar array redo and your inverter and all of the things that you've done just right here. Are you an engineer by trade, a construction manager by trade?
He's a YouTube experience man.
YouTube alumni.
Yes, YouTube alumni, that's it.
I'm a software engineer. I love working with my hands, no matter what it is. I love tinkering. I think that's the core of it. I love tinkering, and I love researching. So I love the DIY, the whole DIY thing.
Right.
You know, from programming, home automation, to 3D printing, to welding, to tinkering with motorcycles or cars or woodworking, I'm in. So I had a little woodwork shop at home.
Wasn't little. He called it the Garage Mahal.
The Garage Mahal.
Yes.
So the whole bus build was done in that workshop.
Sure.
I learned how to weld, learned some other skills, of course, for the solar install. Never done it before. I built our own batteries. So we bought the automotive cells and built our lithium batteries, put the battery management system on it, programmed it. So it kind of pairs the love for the DIY with some skill sets that I either acquired or already had prior to the bus. So it was fun. It was just fun. I mean, overwhelming at parts, of course. Right. But fun and rewarding.
And you know what? If you do something wrong, you figure out what you did wrong, and then you do it better the next time. Yeah.
Or if it breaks, you actually know how to fix it. And you're not trying to get in somewhere to repair it and sitting and waiting.
Yeah, I know every wire, I know every screw, I know, I have the pictures of where everything is done. So
you want it done right, you do it yourself.
Right. And bottom line, you did not go through the process of learning how to build an RV as a trade. You went to YouTube University and graduated with honors, top of your class, right? Yes. Or actually, I don't think there is any graduation, right? That's the continual, it's forever education, because people are willing to share, and you're willing to share. And as a result, we all come out the better.
And that's what's so cool about it, is that you don't, and I think that's why we love the bus, you don't need to be a construction guy.
Right.
You don't need to have a background in any of this. You just have to have the thirst for knowledge. And the cool thing is, between social media and people's willingness to share information, or YouTube, you can figure it out.
Right.
You can do any of it.
You can do it in a very wide range.
Yeah.
Right? You can do a very modest build, or you can go for the $200,000 conversion. You choose. You choose your, what you want to do.
But the info and the how-to, it's all right there.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Haven't you also found that the RV community is so willing to help?
Yeah.
Yes.
No matter where you go.
Yep.
Right? You're standing out in front of your RV, scratching your head, somebody walks by and says, hey, what are you thinking? Well, I've got this issue. Oh, well, I know a guy, or I know how, and they're more than willing to jump in and help. Perhaps,
You see the best of humanity.
Yeah.
A lot of that, and that is the cool. You asked about the social media aspect. That is another cool aspect of it. Is like it's that connection with people and how I think the platform should be used. Like
Yes.
that positive side of it, where it's I don't know how many times we've been broken down on the side of the road or had a question about something, and he's trying to figure it out, and I may not know, so I'll post it on social.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, my inbox is full of, hey, try this. Hey, look at this. And then it's just a really cool
a good community.
community
Yeah.
with that. So the knowledge never ends. It's like,
And someone is always doing something new, or
Yes.
there's a new product, or there's a new way of doing something, or someone
Yep.
figured out a solution in a different way, or
Right.
more elegant way.
or you're about to invest a huge amount of money or time into a certain way, and somebody gives a different perspective
Yep.
that says, hey, yeah, before you do that, you may want to look at this
or
other
like us on our
alternative.
solar, when he designed it, like, there were some schoolies out there, but not many.
Yeah.
It was not all over social media by any means, or even YouTube. And so we used gate hinges, like literal gate hinges,
Right.
to hold up our solar panels. And it has worked. We've been through some awful storms in like Florida.
Yeah.
It has held up. It was perfect. But then someone else was like, hey, I think there's an easier way.
Yeah.
We had known about it, but it wasn't available at the time
Yeah.
with like rail systems.
And there's time and budget constraints.
all
Yeah.
sorts of things. But then
You do
someone's
the best with what you have.
Right.
Where the first build was a very modest build, budget oriented, still going for high quality interior, because that's what I didn't want to upgrade later. A solar I can upgrade, a battery I can upgrade, an engine modification, or a headlight, or those things you can always modify. I can add more storage on the side of the bus. But the interior, I'm not gonna redo my interior. So focus on having that being well done and final, and then everything else is upgradable. So save money where
Yeah.
we can invest more later. And that's kind of what we've been doing,
I love it. I love it. So big picture now. Years from now, you're going to be looking back at this experience. The kids are grown. They've got families of their own. What legacy do you hope they look back on and say, you know what, that was a good experience because?
I think for me, I'm excited about the openness.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they are learning how to think outside the box. There are so many ways to earn money these days. It used to be like you worked a 9 to 5 until you retire, and you save your whole life, and then you retire, and then you're in a nursing home, and then you die. That's your life. And you make the most of it. But now, and I think especially since COVID, there are so many ways to earn an income or to learn to live with less, or what truly makes you happy. And so I hope that they are learning to think outside the box and really figuring out what they love and what they don't through people, through experiences, through activities. I want them to learn about themselves, to really know themselves, not just fit the mold of what society says they should be. And in the meantime, hopefully have a boatload of memories, both good, crazy, and bad ones, but that shape
Yeah.
who they are.
I love it.
I think for me, I hope they look back and they can see that if you put your mind to something, no matter how outrageous it might sound, you can do it. If you, like you said, you can do things that are not what everybody else tells you that is the only way you can do it. I think mainly it's understand that we're all people.
Yeah.
Right? Everywhere they go, people look different, people talk differently, people wear something different, people eat differently, and I think being open-minded is hopefully the biggest gift we can give them. To say, hey, the world is your oyster. You go there and you do your thing. Don't try and like accept what someone is labeling the other person.
Right.
You know, we're all humans. We're flawed. We argue, we cry, but we're different colors, we're different shapes, but we're all humans. And we go out there and we interact with all of us, and do whatever you want. Like, just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to stick to where you live. You can move. You don't have to be stationary if you don't want.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to make money with the 9 to 5 if you don't want.
Right.
If you don't like the weather, you go somewhere else. If you don't like
Yeah.
the country you live in, you move some other country.
If you don't like
Yeah.
your neighbors, you move. Like,
you know. If you want to go live on a boat, go live on a boat. If you want to go live in a farm, go live on a farm. It doesn't matter. You just find who you are, what you love, and just pursue that.
That's one of the central themes to what we're doing at Santa's About, is I thoroughly believe that there are forces, because of money, to try to divide us. Because emotions like fear, hate, distrust, those are stronger emotions from just the basic makeup of our brain. And so I get attention the more I push that. And the more attention I get, the more money I make. And so we have to be intentional about sharing how we're more alike. We all want peace. We all love our families. And we all want good, healthy social relationships and wonderful experiences, no matter where you go. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing
We're
that.
much more alike than we are different.
Absolutely. And we should celebrate that commonality rather than fall victim to those forces that will divide us and separate us. So
Live intentionally, right? And that's the goal, is to live intentionally and not just follow some, higher agenda that needs your attention and needs your, your rage to stay powerful, or whatever it is, or to be relevant, to stay relevant. We can live a very nice life.
I've got a confession. I really, really wanted to take a tour of the bus.
Absolutely.
But not so much now, because what's important to me is what we've discussed here, and what's important to our audience is what we discussed here. They'll get a taste of the bus by following the Flying Circus Bus on social media.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Rather than spend time in our podcast going through the physical, let's focus on the love that we've shared.
That's cool.
And then they'll get the fun of seeing what you've done with your bus and the experiences that you're having by following your social media. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I sure hope that our paths cross again. They have crossed a couple of
Several
times,
times.
right?
Yep.
Twice now?
Yep.
Maybe Santa and Mrs. Claus need to take a trip down to Baja. And,
I think that would be pretty special for the kids down there. I really do.
Yeah.
and that's what we're all about, is spreading
Yes.
joy wherever we go.
That is
and
really
so,
cool. Well, put it on your list.
yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Morgan.
Thank you.
And Glaucio, thank you for taking the time. And God bless you. And I wish you the best in your travels.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks.